Hi guys, welcome back to Manga Mono. The anime begins with Satomi accidentally running into Fujimaki while on her way home. She then notices he's not with his girlfriend and is surprised since they are usually inseparable. When she asks why, he tells her his girlfriend is busy studying for their upcoming exams. Knowing how her friend usually is, Fujimaki asks Satomi if she'll be fine on her exams, and she casually says she won't be. Concerned, he reminds her that if she doesn't do well, she will need to take summer break classes. Satomi is shocked, and it's clear that she's in trouble. So since he's a good friend, Fujimaki offers to help her study. On the first day of their study sessions, Fujimaki looks at what Satomi knows and sees that she isn't doing badly at all. Satomi claims that with his help, she'll surely have no problems passing. Fujimaki realizes that even though Satomi hates studying, she is quite knowledgeable. While Fujimaki thinks about how he could help Satomi, she sneakily pulls out his sword hero from its sleeping bag. When he notices what's happening, he asks her what she's doing, and she casually says she wants to get her reward. Fujimaki tells her they haven't made any progress yet, but eventually gives in to her request, stating she shouldn't blame him if she ends up failing. While Satomi shows off her Kuroke skills for Fujimaki's sword hero, her mom Ayako is stunned outside her door after hearing the cultural sounds they're making. The next day, Fujimaki arrives at Satomi's house, but she's not there. Ayako tells him that she'll be home a little late because of some club activities. She apologizes and asks if he'd willing to wait a little longer, and he says he doesn't mind at all. While they wait, Ayako says that Satomi has been making great progress with her studies, and it's all thanks to Fujimaki. She tells him she's grateful that he spared some of his time to help out her daughter. Then, all of a sudden, Ayako gets closer to Fujimaki, as if she wants to tell him something. Fujimaki gets a little uncomfortable because he can already feel her massive twin personalities. Moreover, he notices that she smells exactly like Satomi, sparking the culture within him to blaze. However, he suddenly gets shocked when Ayako says that being too close and going dungeon exploring all the time might be an issue. Fujimaki is embarrassed that Ayako found out about that part of his relationship with Satomi. Like a good mom, Ayako says she wants Satomi to concentrate on her exams. She then goes on to close the door and opens up her twin personalities for Fujimaki. She tells him that he should explore her dungeon instead so that Satomi can focus. Since he respects his elders, Fujimaki tries to get out of the situation by saying he doesn't have that kind of relationship with Satomi. However, his explanations fall on deaf ears since Ayako's mind is already made up. She tells him that if he respects his elders, he should just gratefully accept what they offer him. Given that it's pretty hard to argue with that logic, Fujimaki surrenders and accepts what Ayako is offering. Ayako wastes no time showing off her tongue twister skills to Fujimaki, while she uses the power of friction to help his sword hero activate its armament haki. Meanwhile, Fujimaki gets a good grasp of her twin personalities and notices that they are oozing with character. Seeing that he's puzzled as to why that's happening, Ayako apologizes and explains that it's a side effect of cultural supplements whenever someone her age takes them. After that, she goes on to use her twin personalities to suffocate his sword hero. Fujimaki lets out plenty of cultural sounds as he gets overwhelmed by Ayako's ferocity. After a few seconds, his sword hero loses control and coughs up some of the liquid white gold from his reserves. Ayako seems quite happy with what she has accomplished, but then she quickly notices that Fujimaki's sword hero is still brimming with energy. She doesn't seem surprised at all. In fact, she expected it, given someone like him should be full of energy. So, she gets ready to let him explore her dungeon. Fujimaki realizes what she's planning to do, and tells her that going any further might be bad. Of course, Ayako notices Fujimaki's reluctance, and to ease his mind, she borrows the headband strapped to his bag. She then puts it on her neck and says that as long as she's wearing it, she'll be his girlfriend. After that, Fujimaki puts all his worries away and gets ready to explore Ayako's dungeon, remembering to prepare using the proper protection protocols. Ayako is happy that he follows the protocols with Satomi, but there's no need for them when he's exploring her dungeon. The moment Fujimaki's sword hero enters her dungeon, Ayako lets out a loud cultural sound. It's been a while since her dungeon had a visitor, and she feels overwhelmed by the size of his sword hero's resolve. Seeing that he's thinking of holding back in consideration of her, Ayako tells Fujimaki she's fine and that he should go all out and aim for the innermost sanctum of her dungeon. So, Fujimaki goes all out while apologizing to Ayako for his unscrupulous sword hero. She tells him it's alright, saying it'll be their little secret. Not long after that, Fujimaki becomes fiercer with his dungeon exploration, declaring that the time is almost right for some liquid white gold donation. Ayako tells him not to hold back because she wants him to deposit as much liquid white gold directly into her bank account as possible. Ayako's mind goes blank as the torrent of liquid white gold makes her step on Legos. While she's gasping for air and trying to recover her senses, she notices that Fujimaki's hero is still full of energy. However, much to her regret, they're already out of time because Satami is about to arrive. So, she tells him they'll just pick up where they left off the next day. When Fujimaki returns the next day, he asks Ayako to let him watch while she solo levels her dungeon. Ayako fulfills his request, but doesn't hesitate to express how embarrassed she is about doing such a thing. However, as she solo levels her dungeon in front of him, she can't help but feel the culture within her get out of control. Eventually, when the time is right, Ayako lets out a loud cultural squeal as she successfully solo levels her dungeon. Fujimaki can't help but be amazed at the sight of Ayako stepping on Legos while a torrent of holy water floods out of her dungeon. On the fourth day of visiting Satami's house, Fujimaki and Ayako continue getting closer. They no longer hold back when dealing with their cultural needs. This time around, Ayako happily provides Fujimaki with his daily dose of calcium-rich drinks while she helps his sword hero practice its arm and haki. On the fifth day of his visit, Fujimaki lets his sword hero explore Ayako's dungeon while it's about to burst with sewage water. Ayako says he should stop because it's not the right time and place for dungeon exploration. However, her pleas fall on deaf ears because Fujimaki has no plans of stopping. As the dungeon exploration gets fiercer by the second, Ayako can't help but fill the room with her cultural sounds. She knows if things continue the way they are, she won't be able to hold back the sewage water from accidentally flooding out of her dungeon. She tries one more time to calm Fujimaki down and save herself from embarrassment, but fails. So in the end, she steps on Legos while a torrent of high-pressure sewage water bursts out of her dungeon as it once again gets filled with a hefty deposit of liquid white gold. On the sixth day, even though Satami is home, Fujimaki and Ayako continue with their usual routine. However, this time, Ayako wants to be careful that they keep their voices down so that Satami would not notice. Despite being the one who said to keep quiet, Ayako is the first one to break their agreement. Fujimaki tells her to keep her voice down, but Ayako says she can't because his sword hero is too fierce while exploring her dungeon. The thought of getting caught by Satomi makes the culture within both of them go out of control. Because of that, it doesn't take long for Fujimaki to make a direct deposit of liquid white gold straight into the depths of Ayako's dungeon. Meanwhile, Ayako desperately tries to suppress her cultural sounds as her mind goes blank when Fujimaki makes her step on Legos. On the seventh and final day of Fujimaki's visit, Ayako asks him to help her get some groceries. When they get home, they waste no time and practice their CPR skills. Ayako says they should be quick and be done before Satami returns home, since she has done so ever since they've started their secret pace team activity. Ayako says she'll put the headband on her neck as a sign that she's Fujimaki's girlfriend for that day. However, Fujimaki stops her this time. He says that for that day, she wants her to be herself. He wants her to be Ako, the housewife he fell in love with. Fujimaki's simple gesture makes Ayako more appreciative. She stops holding back and goes all out in letting him explore her dungeon. She becomes more honest with herself, saying that she has been waiting for that moment since the other day, and it was too much for her to take. The sudden ferocity that Ayako shows overwhelms Fujimaki, and it doesn't take long for his sword hero to accidentally deposit a substantial amount of its liquid white gold reserves. As for Ayako, she happily accepts everything he has to give and tells him they can no longer tell who's thanking whom because of their situation. After that week, Ayako and Fujimaki return to how they were before they got into their secret pastime. The results of Satami's exams arrive, and she manages to pass them. She celebrates and says she has to thank Fujimaki for helping her out. Ayako says she has to do the same thing too, which makes Satami question what she means. While the two are busy in their conversation, Fujimaki is sweating profusely, knowing full well what lies ahead of him. Ayako tells Satomi she doesn't have to worry, because she won't steal Fujimaki from her. Satami tries to explain that she doesn't have that kind of relationship with Fujimaki. However, Ayako doesn't seem to be listening anymore. She smiles while delightedly looking at Fujimaki, saying that for the moment, they should explore the dungeons using the three-man formation. And guys, please in the end, don't forget to support us with a like for the video and algorithms say you will like this videos.